Marketing is about getting your next customer. Marketing is about not only getting customer, it is about retaining customers and getting new customers every day. It is one of the most complex processes that the world has, and there is no science or no art that governs marketing. It is only understanding people, understanding their pulse. The more you understand people, the better in marketing will you be. So there's something that the banks use, and I don't know why it has not been made compulsory to every company in the world. All of you are consumers of communication, as I said. All of you have seen a brand called Fevicol. What does it do? It joins things together, right? Now, all of you, any of you remember any Fevicol ads? Tell me one that you remember.
Latest, the goat one.
Which one?
The goat one. Water, goat.
Okay.
The truck one.
Truck
Yeah,
one.
you can see
Okay.
the
From the elephant one to the shadow,
Yes.
we remember
Okay.
almost all that.
Shadow on the shop shutter.
Shop shadow. Okay.
There's a lady who's working, the child is disturbing the
Puts her back on the Fevicol. Okay.
And the widow one, because
Widow.
the chandelier was not going off.
Ah.
They were trying to.
That is not Fevicol.
That was not
We'll discuss that at. Fevicol is unique. Now, who is Fevicol meant for? Fevicol is not meant for you and me. Fevicol is meant for carpenters. The Fevicol target audience is the carpenter, because he is going to buy Fevicol to make his tables, chairs, whatever he is making. Now, you have to create communication that the carpenter easily understands. So, if you notice Fevicol communication, all the examples you gave, none of them has any word spoken, right? It shows something happening, and all you see in the end is the Fevicol logo. But they brilliantly connect to everybody, not only to the carpenter, which is why Fevicol is such a famous brand, because it is simple, direct, it tells me all about joining, but it never shows things getting joined together.
And by the product itself.
Yes, and no product, only the logo. Therefore, what is it doing? It is making the consumer connect the things or put the pieces of the puzzle together. And when that is happening, you are engaging the viewer with your ad. And all this thing we hear about marketing, about engagement, this is how engagement happens. And Fevicol, because of its ability to engage, is one of the best known brands in India. And it's the most uninteresting brand. It's the most unimportant brand in our lives. And it has the best communication. Okay, so they figured this out, and they figured this out how? Because they gave themselves a direction. They said that we have to talk to carpenters. These guys do not understand, they don't like things written, they can't read, they don't have time to listen, but yes, they can see. And from this direction comes what? Comes inspiration as to how I can talk to these people. So direction and inspiration, if it is combined, your brief will be the greatest brief in the world that you can give. And you talk of any good ad, they follow two simple things for a brief. What is the direction I will take my communication? Of course, I have to understand my consumer, KYC. And then what is the direction in which I can talk that they will listen? And then that direction will give me the inspiration to create a great ad. It is that simple, if it is followed. So what we say, if I cannot explain this direction in one sentence, if I cannot express it in one sentence, it's not worth expressing at all. So the less I say, the more I'll actually deliver to you. Less is more is the biggest compliment that you can give your consumer. The sales guy who comes to you and keeps telling you, talking you for 15 minutes about his product or her product, you've forgotten what that person had said in the beginning by the time she reaches the end. So why will you listen? He's wasting your time. So the idea is to explain it in one sentence in your brief. Forget your communication. Can you express it in one sentence in your brief? If you can, then your brief is extremely strong. All of us have a different name. Why do we have a different name? Because each one of us are unique. Our fingerprints are unique. Why are we unique? Because each one of us think differently. Each of us act differently, speak differently, live differently. Now, each one of us actually represent a class of people, a group of people. You can group people by the type of lifestyle they live. You can group people by where they go to, by what type of profession they pursue, by what type of family life they live, by what type of recreation that they do, by what type of assets they own, by what type of holidays they go to, where they send their children to school, and so on and so forth. The more details that you can collect, the more closer you are getting to your KYC. Most of our briefs will say that women 18 to 45, SECA, etc., etc. That is what we tell all of us. What is women 18 to 45, SECA and B? Can any of you tell me?
Married, unmarried.
18 years old, 45 years old could also be unmarried, 18-year-old could be married. What does it mean to you? Yes, SEC A and B is socio-economic class A and B. What is socio-economic class A and B?
Maybe high society, maybe middle class, so education and profession.
Okay, so the ruling word is maybe. And if we are caught in this world, maybe this, maybe that, we don't know who we are talking to. The conclusions that you draw should not be about how they conduct their lives. That's not what you want to know. What you want to know is what is their relationship with you. Do they have any relationship with you? You meaning the brand in this case. If they do not have any relationship with you, are they likely to have any relationship with you? Do they have any relationship with any brand in your category? Or are they likely to have any relationship with any brand in your category? And what has been their reaction to past advertising? How do they react towards advertising? What advertising do they like, they don't like, etc. It sounds vast, but it's a mixture of reality and judgment that people use in marketing communication to arrive at this conclusion. It's experience, judgment, and reality. These three things are put together to arrive at a conclusion. A hair oil is advertising. Dabur Vatika is one of the leading hair oil brands. This is what happens, you don't forget these ads. And this is why you remember the brand. And I don't think any woman in India, after seeing such communication, will be able to ignore Dabur Vatika.
And that takes a lot of courage.
It takes a lot of courage. Yes.
To make an ad like this.
Yes.
Which says that you don't need to use my product.
No.
See, that's wrong.
There is no product in this ad. And it talks about a concern. Hair fall is a concern.
And they launched it probably in YouTube and social media.
This
Because
is a-
I
this is-
I saw this in social media.
This is an entirely social media exercise that Dabur Vatika did. And a traditional company using social media advertising like this. Okay, and this is a, I think if I remember correctly, this is a coconut based hair oil, which is the most traditional of all hair oils.